All right. Good evening, everyone. It's the new year. It's my turn to start off the actual live for the podcast Data from the Real. I'm Marcus. I'm your host. Today, I'm being joined by Don Junior Lilly himself. He's going to be my co-host. Um, before we get
Hello,
into today's
everyone.
topic, hey, before we get into the topics, one of the things that I'm going to do this year, or we are actually going to have Don come on a little bit more often and give his point of views on different things. He's going to co-host with me on several occasions. You know, this year it's going to be more collaborations and things like that. We're going to make these things a little bit different for 2024. They always say a man is not an island, right?
Exactly.
So, and I appreciate you being part of my, I almost said peninsula, like Andre 3000, a peninsula maybe, but I'm gonna have a
Yes.
squirrel moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make this a wonderful day, a wonderful topic. So, got a little behind today, but that's all right. Today's topic was actually what was one of the recommendations from one of our DAR members, and when I looked at this topic, we're like, oh, I was like, we did that before, but that was so long ago. And it's like one of the first things we did when Key and I was setting this up.
Mhm.
And but sometimes you gotta reconnect with the originals. What we did before and how we did everything. And we got to get back to it. And this is actually important because while looking at this, I had to look and say, hey, yo, this is like when you be in a relationship sometimes too long and I won't say too long, sometimes your relationship get complacent and you forget. I don't know. Have you ever had that moment where you kind of get complacent in a relationship, like, oh, let me get back to basics?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You definitely almost have to do a self check to reaffirm the status quo of the relationship, even within yourself. You have to check yourself first.
Right. And this is why the topic today is the five love languages. And these five love languages, as I remember researching, I looked at it again. It was like it doesn't have a whole bunch of, I would say, clinical backing or not clinical, but research. And it's a concept that came out 30 years ago, but it's so accepted. And now that I look at it, it's like, yo, it makes it makes sense. And it's funny. I even did a five language love quiz while I was on a little break at work today, and see what was up. And I was like, oh yeah. And why
I
did my
could.
name say test? I'm looking.
Yeah, I saw that. But to piggyback on your comment, I couldn't tell you how many times when I was in the dating world, you're on these dating apps and you go out, meet someone, and that's one of the questions that's thrown at you is like, what is your love language? And if you haven't done any research or even thought about it, you're sitting there stopped like, that's a good question. You caught me off guard. So I remember preparing myself when I was out there in the dating world to be ready to answer that question with the love language that I thought that best um, fits my personality.
Yeah. And so, and now think about it. Those five love languages, they actually really could play a part in my relationship. And and sometimes she has to check me on it. It's like, babe, you know my love language.
Hmm.
He's like, yo, that's what's up. You're right. And let's and I'm like, yeah, let's get back once again, let's get back to basics. And forgive me, but can you do me a favor, Don? Can you shoot out the five love languages for me real quick?
Sure. You want me to read them all off from top to bottom,
Yeah,
and
let's read
that
them
way
all
we
off.
can.
So
All right. Did a little research on this because Marcus hit me with with the question, and me being the detective that I am, I'm gonna go and dig up some information. So I got this from the website mindbodygreen.com. They had an article on the five love languages, and they gave an explanation. But I'm just gonna run them off to you real quick. The first one is words of affirmation. Number two is quality time, acts of service, gifts, and the final one is physical touch.
Okay. So let's tackle that first one. What's that first one? And what's the definition of it?
Words of affirmation. People with words of affirmation as a love language value verbal acknowledgement of affection, including frequent I love you compliments, words of appreciation, verbal encouragement, and often frequent digital communication like texting and social media engagements.
So words of affirmation, that's my woman's love language. And for those who are familiar with the group, Data from the Real, you know that without a shadow of a doubt, that's probably gonna be her love language because storyteller, poet, author. Come on now, that's like it should be really be a given. But yeah, I gotta do reminded.
Yeah, uh,
Um,
that's something my lady always talks to me about those words of encouragement. Just waking up in the morning saying good morning, when you leave it out the door, I love you, and things of that nature. So, it's always a constant reminder in regards to our relationship.
right. And one of the things I found out, especially about myself, because a lot of times I'm often quiet, and and that could be a contradiction to her love language. And what I said, sometimes she gotta check me on it. You know,
Yeah, preaching to the choir, man. You preaching to the choir.
yeah, So and I understand where she's coming from. And her tower says I'm bilingual.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but I have to step up. One of the things I have to do is step up my shell with that. And that's part of me also evolving. And when I evolve, and that's okay. I had to communicate more because we all know the key to everything in our relationships is what? Communication.
Yes.
And with that words of affirmation, that is nothing but probably one of the in her in her love language, one of the truest forms of communicating, expressing. And because I love her so much, I do what I do, and I step out and even sometimes she don't check me on it, I have to check. I check myself, and I have no problem with it. It's like, hey, babe, good morning, and that right there is one of the simplest acts of words of affirmation. Good morning, like you said, good morning, and I find out she appreciates that so much more than just as much as I love you.
Yeah. Just think about the aspect of if you do a lot of traveling and you're able to wake up and send your loved one a text message or even just a surprise phone call unexpectedly, that provides that word of affirmation they may be seeking.
Right, and as she was actually she's in the chat right now telling Tara she bilingual too. Babe, I'm you more than bilingual. You more than try. You yeah. You are very well rounded in the love language areas. So you are just a little bit more fluent in the words that first word. Dang it!
Affirmation, words of
There you go. Help
affirmation.
me
There
out.
you
That's why I keep a poet. That's why I keep a poet on the team. Actually, two now.
go. Man, I'm telling you, when in my younger days, words of affirmation was something that I struggle with because I'm more of an introverted personality. So
Mm-hmm.
it takes a minute for me to get to my thoughts. And when I'm in my zone, I tend to block out everything. And then once, I'm past that, I open up and begin to speak. And sometimes my girl, she will question me like, "Oh, you just gonna sit there and not say anything?" I'm just like, I just need 5 to 10 minutes to get to my thoughts from the day, especially after working all day or you're doing something that's of a physical grind. You just need a moment to yourself, and not necessarily you're dissing the person or disowning them. You're just gathering your mind to what you're going to say and the way that you approach it.
Right. You know, I'm so with you on the introvert thing. And like you said, when you get focused on something, you almost like you get you get a tunnel focus. And along with the words of affirmation, sometimes you forget, and you have to bring yourself back in and say, hey, the way I could show you that I love you is talking your language. Hence why we're here with the five
The five
love
love
languages.
languages, because there
Yeah,
may
you
be
know what I
another
mean?
language that speaks to that, not necessarily being the words of affirmation. Because I think each person has a strong point that will show up, and words of affirmation may not be one person's strongest point, but then it can counter that with another one. Once we get to that particular word, we can discuss that.
Yeah. So now, what what's the next one? Quality time.
Second one is quality time. The definition of that is people whose love language feels the most adored when their partner actively wants to spend time with them and is always down to hang out. They particularly love when actively listening, eye contact, and full presence are prioritized hallmarks in the relationship. That is one that is of most important
Hmm.
quality.
Now, quality time is it? Well, I'm trying to think. You being an introvert, I don't see that one as being yours. I'm just guessing. I don't know
It's
you like that.
definitely not mine, but as you indicated, you have to speak that person's love language. So the quality time is something that I put effort into to ensure that me and my mate get that specific quality time, whether it's going to the movies, out to dinner, or just spending some alone time together. Looking at the stars and by a fire pit and just enjoying a good cigar or a drink and just having a nice conversation. So you get the words of affirmation and you get that quality time. So you get one and two together, and that's a deadly combination.
Yeah, and yeah, Kia says quality time is actively time spends time in full presence. And Tara chimes in and says, "Hold on, let me bring it up. That's what it takes."
That's what it takes,
Yeah,
even
and
when you
she's
don't want to.
real talk, real talk. And that's one of the things about life and love and relationships. It's not always about what you want to do. It's about what's necessary, because what you ultimately want is for the relationship to work. Now, quality of time. Now, it's not my number one, but there's going to be times I crave it, and sometimes I don't communicate that.
Yes,
Um, and I know it's important, especially like when you want the times like because you won't. I don't want to be. Sometimes I just don't want to be alone. Um, and when I remember reading about it, and one of some, or actually reading about one of the questions about determining your love languages. I think it was like, do you appreciate your person spending time watching your TV show? I said, yeah, that'd probably be cool. Even though they may not like some of the stuff I like, but I won't say they, she, she may not like the fantasy or the anime or any kitty stuff when my mind goes.
yeah,
Um, but that I think that's very, like you said, very important. That quality time gives them is that time to reconnect or stay or strengthen your bond. Um, Without that quality time, and I don't, and honestly thinking as I sit here talking, even if it's the last thing on your list, it's still an important thing on the list.
Yeah,
You know,
just giving the effort is a plus because I do know that when spending quality time with my lady that there are shows that I watch and she has no interest in, but she will take the effort to watch, and vice versa. I've watched some of her shows and I'm like, okay, well, let me see what you're so interested in, and we wind up watching a series or two, and it's like, okay, this is actually pretty good. So let me dive into it.
yeah, you know, while we have been talking about these love languages, I want everybody, anybody out there right now, when you let's talk, bring your love language up. When when your number one jumps in, type in some examples. What's one what's your act of quality time or words of affirmation? You know, because if I think back to when I was dating or single and things of that nature, and maybe even previous, especially previous relationships. If I had just knew this then, it might have lasted. It might have lasted, or been better off.
Hmm.
Or I'm not a player or nothing, but maybe I would probably might have used it to my advantage to get the female I wanted.
It's funny you say that because if you think about some of these topics, especially the one we're talking about tonight, as you indicated, the love language goes back 30 years. All this information and knowledge was written in books, and therefore, unless you was one of a philosophical one that likes to read a lot or into books, you may not have known of this aspect. But with the invention of social media and everyone putting things on the internet to share, that has opened up a world of knowledge that people on any random day would not even be aware of. So if you look at things like on Instagram or TikTok, you can see constantly words of affirmation or things of quality time that are being posted, and people may say, "I want to be like that," or "I want to do what they're doing." So this is the information that was always there. It's just now being in a different form being presented.
You're right because, like I said, I think I read it was like around I think roughly 30 years. So, and Tara says something. Hold on. She says, I love love, and I can truly appreciate all five." That's
Good,
true
good, good answer.
because that's what we're talking about. When I took this um, love language test today at break, it listed all five. It just listed which is a higher priority for me.
Exactly.
And that's what's the thing. It's they're all registered because none of them said 100% this and 0% that.
Yeah.
You
At
know,
one point or another, one's going to be stronger based on, again, if you're taking a survey or a questionnaire, based on how you answer that question will make a determination on which one rates higher. But at any given time, at any given day, you can apply any one of these five aspects of the love language to your life.
right? And for like right now, Tam said, you know, the top love language is physical touch, but quality time is a real close second. Exactly. And my thing is, how do you know? Do you? Well, I would say, do you know? Because how can I express what mine is if I don't know what it is? Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but you bring up a good point. If you think about your personality, I mean, again, we got three more to even to discuss. But if you look at the first two, if you think about your personality, as you indicated, like me, you're an introvert, so words of affirmation may not be your strong suit. However, you are spending quality time with your lady, so that may rate higher on a particular Richter scale. But then if you go through the acts of service, gifts, and then the final one of physical touch, then you can see how that may apply to your personality. So it's not necessarily in a specific order as Kia indicated here, but at any given time, if it's say for instance someone's birthday, you're going to give gifts and you're going to have more acts of of services and maybe physical touch as compared to words of affirmation, because you only like, shh, don't say nothing, let's just do this. You know what I mean? So no talk is needed.
Yeah. Okay. And Tara came in and said it's usually based on the easiest things for you to offer others. And I'm gonna touch on that and when I get to my personal top uh affirmation. I'm gonna touch a little bit in which was brought to my attention what I do sometimes.
Okay.
All right. So what's the third one, Don?
Let's go to number three. Acts of service. The definition is described as if your love language is act of service, you value when your partner goes out of their way to make your life easier. I think this is what Tara may be pointing to. It's
Mm-hmm.
things like bringing you soup when you're sick, making your coffee for you in the morning, or picking up your dry cleaning when you had a busy day at work. That in itself speaks one of my stronger points of my love language is the acts of service. I don't even have to say anything, but if I bring you coffee in the morning, tell you good morning, and making sure that your morning is ready to start, that in itself puts me ahead of the curve, I think.
Yeah. So active service is my top. It rates like 40% out of 100.
Yeah,
And I kind of knew that, but when I took that quiz, it really just affirmed it for me.
yeah,
Um, and honestly, it's not really I'm not gonna say it, but a lot of it is the effort or the thought of the service. It's not the actually fulfilling it, but the attempt or that you want to do that service
yes,
speaks the volumes to me. You know, and because that's my love language,
hmm,
sometimes, and this will I impose it onto my partner. As stated before, hers is words of affirmation,
yeah,
but I'm imposing, and I don't mean imposing in a bad way, but I'm actually giving her my love language, and thinking that's showing her my love, but it shows her, but that's not the best way for her to receive the love.
yes.
And
We
that
got
I was like, I said, oh, that's right, I do.
yeah, you're
And
correct on that. I see a comment from Kia stating, we usually put out what we want in return. I just want to agree with that. And I think beyond that, if it's in you, you will do it. If a person doesn't know how to show affection, doesn't know how to show love, doesn't know how to communicate their feelings, then that void is going to be there when you're sitting side by side having quality time, but it's just total silence compared to someone who knows what they want and in turn giving that love language, not really expecting anything in return, but giving what's because it's within them.
right. So real quick before I finish this, Floyd also wrote something in the chat. It says words of affirmation is my number one. I love when I have a lady and she compliments me, encourages me, and speaks to me with admiration and respect. I love it when she flirts with me. Oh yeah,
Agreed. Agreed.
you pretty much knocked the whole words of affirmation definition down.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, and I can imagine. To be honest with you, I can imagine a lot of guys who have words of affirmation could be a priority to them. Reason I say that because a lot of men are ego driven. What's the best way to a ego driven person is to stroke the ego, and a lot of times
Yeah.
words, ooh, ooh,
Satisfy
baby,
that.
yeah, baby, you looking fly, yeah, yeah, you look, your arm looking mighty swole today. Ooh, you did some push ups or something, yeah, daddy,
Indeed. And even when Floyd said he loves when lady flirts with him, that in itself, that words of affirmation can also be considered an act of service because, like you indicated, you're stroking the ego, providing some good affection to their soul. Maybe having a bad day at work, but then someone comes in and your lady says something nice to you, it makes it all better because you come home You just said you had a terrible day coming home driving through traffic. I can imagine how pissed off you probably were with with all those cars cutting in front of you, and you see numbered red lights and all that. Then you come home to some words of affirmation. It just totally negates all the negativity that you experienced for probably 30 or 40 minutes there.
Right. And that right there, but so like we was talking about acts of service, and one thing my lady really does, and which I don't require this. This is all because she understands my love language. Like she a lot of times have me a meal ready, and like I'm on the way, babe, and I just tell her that because she's more always concerned about my safety,
Yeah.
and she like I want to say it was Monday or it was Monday, actually Monday and Tuesday. Fighting the traffic fight. She I'll get there and there's some food right there ready for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh damn, thank you. And I appreciate that. You know, and she know I don't require it, but she knows my language is the service,
Yeah.
and that act of kindness, I appreciate that. And but unlike me, where I try to impose my love language on her, she gets it better.
Yeah.
So
I do like this one. This act of service. Another explanation of it is this love language for people who believe that actions speaks louder than words. So me being the introvert, I'm not always going to be carrying my feelings on my shoulder. So I let my actions take care of a majority of that, even though you still have to have a discussion or a conversation. But hey, I'm gonna get it done before you even ask about it. Therefore, when you ask about it, we can talk about it. But it's not gonna be something that you're gonna be screaming at me because it's been 3 weeks and I hadn't mowed the lawn. I'm already gonna take care of that.
right, and the acts of service, even though I may oppose it, but the acts of service is on her list, and then I think it's pretty. I'm gonna say it's about number three.
Okay.
If I had to rate it, I haven't asked her about this in a while, but I think it's number three because there are things I like you just do it and take care of it. You not have to be asked about it. I'm gonna do this for you. I don't care. I love you. It's not only my position, but this is something I want to do to make sure you're good. This is
Yeah.
how I show up. This is my love language, and I still have to show it on. Still have to show it to you in this way.
Yeah.
You know,
Indeed.
and I just can't make my love language on top of your high priority. But like you said, if I say number three, she loves it. It's not, like they say, when you're the man of the house, you take care of this, and that. The act of service.
Hmm.
That's what. Well,
It
so
is a balance.
I get you. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. So everything, the love languages and the roles you play in your relationship are, as I talk about it, are intertwined.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm prepping your plate now too.
that's what I'm talking about.
Just some words of affirmation for you there, right?
Yeah, the act
Stroking
of
it
service,
legal.
getting it in.
uh,
Oh man.
that's good stuff.
So if I had to trade her for anything, where it'd probably trade her for nothing because she's my perfect person.
There you go.
You
Find
know.
that soulmate.
So damn, Don, it seems like going through this week, like we're way too much alike, man. I'm starting to wonder who your folks is. Who your folks?
Our folks is from down south, Texas.
Oh yeah. I'm down south, but show is Alabama though. Man. It's a couple of states apart.
Yeah.
I'm scared to ask your daddy name.
Who them kids over there, right? Stepping out the Cadillac. Oh man, but just we all come from the same motherland, and if we go back into history, slavery and all that, we families spread out to different states. But who knows if you trace your lineage, how close to any one of us could be distant cousin or something. Just you change the name and you move on. But yeah, it's probably some relation somewhere down the line.
Yeah, you know. if it is or ain't, I appreciate your friendship and all things we are how we connected in the past. But wow, say what I met you
Yeah,
about. Ah,
we,
when you first, to be honest with you, just a side note from this love language, we actually had our first real conversational talk. I think January of last year at the Vision Board event.
yeah, yeah, we did. That was downtown Dallas, Deep Ellum, and you know, kind of got out of my shell there and got out of this introvertedness and mingle amongst the masses and just you see another guy there, you're gonna shoot the shit, excuse me the language, but you just kind of just talk it
Mhm.
up, chalk it up. Well, because iron sharpens iron, so you pass knowledge, I'll pass it back.
Right. And I was like, yeah. And it just occurred to me just then. So I just wanted to put that out there, me and you on every so often we get together, we talk and we smoke our cigars
Yeah.
and we talk about things like this. And like these love languages is now and we got some other topics you telling me that you got brewing in the
Oh yeah, I
in
got
the
some
oven,
things in the fire because again, that
Yeah.
writer instinct is it's natural. But one of the topics that I told you earlier that we can discuss at a later time will be mind over matter. So just keep that in the back burner and
Yeah.
see how
Don't
that
get there.
goes. Don't give
Don't give
all
him
the way.
too much. Don't give him too much,
It's
Cat
tease.
Williams.
Yeah.
We got
I got the
say
Laportier on deck. I'm about to tell all the truth here.
yeah, don't do it. No.
A good cognac. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna get some cognac and cigars. We're gonna just spill all the tea. We're gonna make this thing go
Yeah.
viral.
Matter of fact, yeah. Matter of fact, what's that next one? We got what's that next one? The gifts?
Yeah, number 4 is gifts. This is you feel when people give you visual symbols of love. It could be monetary, but also symbolic in thought. So gifts could be anything pertaining to when someone's birthday, you go above and beyond. Christmas, holidays, or just out the blue, you bring flowers. Just I was thinking about you today at the store, and we got you a little present, just something to show that not words of affirmation, but that physical affirmation. Just
Hmm.
I'm thinking about you.
Okay. You just said something I never thought about in that way. A physical affirmation.
Acts of
You know,
service.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because actually, yeah, gifts are not really high to me, but they are very appreciative.
yeah.
Um, Gifts was is actually, and I want to break that down in two categories. Is it the gift, the thought of the gift, and the thought of behind it, or is it gifts and you appreciate the monetary value?
You bring up a good topic because it's going to depend on the person you're with. If you give a gift unexpectedly, that thought is in it, but if someone you're giving it to is expecting a monetary value, then you're going to have a problem because if you could do like a secret Santa and you give someone a gift and they're gonna be like, this thing costs $10. It shouldn't be looked at with a monetary value unless the person themselves are expecting something of insignificance that they themselves can't even give. So, trying to get $100 gift when you yourself is giving a $20 gift, it's kind of suspect at times.
Yeah. Um, I like the gifts as a love language, but I'm also suspect sometimes as in can gifts be considered selfish? And that's I'm not say selfish, but like do because I'm thinking about if I'm single and all she do want me to give her gifts, will her love language or gifts really match me like in that energy, or do I have to look at it like is it gifts or because she just likes the thought of gifts and not really caring it because of things like that? And I know this is crazy. I'm just flying off the cuff on this. I need and these comments are flying over here.
Yeah, let's
I'm
go to
scared.
the
I'm scared
comments
to
and
read
see
them.
what they're saying. Let's go through some of those comments because you bring up a
Yeah.
good topic because it can be looked at several means, several ways, and so let's go to the comments and see what they have to say about this
All
before
right.
I
So
speak on it or you speak on it.
hold on. Let me bring up Tara's comment real quick. She says, in a relationship, the best gifts to me are the ones he knows that I want and things that made me think of him. Okay.
Knowing your person, that's one way to get that.
Yeah. So that makes me think totally different about gifts. You know. And let me think. Let's see what else we got here. Because there was a whole bunch flying. Floyd says gifts are last on my list of terms of receiving. But I did have an ex who used to give me random cards that would say things thinking of you or I love you. I felt this combo gift of words. See more. Hold on. That means gifts of words affirmation.
Yeah.
You know that right there, that lady right there, Floyd. I would appreciate her for you because your words of affirmation, like you said, and gift giving might be hers. So she's like I said, she combined them both. I love to
Yeah.
give you something, and it also fulfills your words of affirmation.
Yeah. Floyd also followed up saying it's not about the amount of the gift, it's the thought behind the gift. And that in itself is the most important aspect of it. The thought behind it shouldn't have a monetary value. You are doing something out of love, you're doing something out of your love language. And knowing your person helps that because you're giving them something that they may have always wanted, but just didn't get it at the time or could not even fathom the thought, and just being able to read between the lines and doing that is enormous.
Right. And hold on.
There's
And back
another.
to and back to Tara's statement about the gift, receiving the gift that make you think of the other person or they think of each other. Yeah, that's actually that's great. So I'm thinking back to the comment I said that, and that's what shifts my whole mindset, and I appreciate the other views, and this is what we here for. I'm not going to be closed minded. I'm open. I'm always going to be. I won't say always. Most time I'm going to be open to different ideas and different thoughts. I need to see the other side.
Yeah.
I need to see the other comments. I need to see where my thinking is wrong at. Cause that's what we're here for. Is open. It's an open discussion.
Yeah.
So thank you, group. Set set set
There's
set
another
set me
comment.
straight.
The group of ladies' love language is something else. Someone else's husband buys their meal. That was from a previous
Oh,
conversation in the week.
so
Yeah.
let's. Oh, who sent that? I don't know who
I
wrote
think
that. I can't see my phone right now.
Kia wrote that.
Listen. So real quick, Don, let's have a
Yeah.
squirrel moment for just half a
Okay.
second.
All right.
To put that in context for those who watch this later or who watches on YouTube, we says the group is of ladies' language is someone husband buy them their meals. She's referring to the video that was posted a couple days ago with the birthday. It was a birthday dinner,
Yeah.
and the lady birthday was had the one of the ladies at the table said there was one man at the table and he said, "Hey, you should pay for everybody's meal." We posted that in the comments in the group, and the comments was all consensus. Hell no, we ain't paying for everybody at the damn table. We
That's a
ain't.
hard one. That's a
They
hard one.
hard. How's that hard?
Well, the reason I say that is because you have to look at it from different from a linear view. And I'm saying this with utmost respect. I had an uncle who worked for NASA down in Houston, and he made bukus of money. So when he would take his two daughters, myself, my two sisters, my mom, his ex-wife, he would take us all out to dinner, and he would say the tab is on me. So in that aspect, he said no lady should have to pay for their meal or and things of that nature. He took care of it, but not everyone is sporting a bankroll like that. So with the brother in the video, $700 may hit his pocket hard. So he was like, man, y'all need to cover your own self. I'm here to take care of my baby girl and my wife. So, you think of that aspect as well. If someone's able to do that, you can drop a dime and keep it moving. Others are like, no, $700 ain't finna hit me like that.
Right. And so I understand that. I understand him to an extent. What I'm going to say, I'm not going to go too far off on this. One, you shouldn't be expecting it. If I didn't offer it,
exactly.
Okay. Two, if I am well enough to do it, you better get my permission of my woman.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Three, what would you do if I wasn't there? Were you gonna dine and dash?
Wash some dishes or something.
Yeah. Bust them suds.
Yeah.
But and the last thing I'm gonna say is I appreciate, like I said in the chat, the comments of that one, I appreciate the wife for standing up and said, no, he's paying for me. It's not his job to pay for y'all. It's his job to pay for his family.
Yeah.
Now, if she deems it's necessary, well, he deemed it necessary, and he discussed with his wife, that's a whole different story. But no, don't expect that.
Yeah,
and
the
like
expectation is what
expectation
causes the drama. Feeling that every man's act of service should be to pay for your dinner. I mean, that can go down another rabbit hole another day. But we'll talk on it for a quick second. That's a whole another show, probably.
My active service open the door for you when we leave after you pay for your own tab too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so now we bring out that come out that rabbit hole. What was that last? What was that last one after gifts?
The last one is physical touch, and this is probably my second best one. It says people with physical touch as their love language feel love when they receive physical signs of affection, including kissing, holding hands, cuddling on the couch, and sex. Physical intimacy and touch can be incredibly affirming and serve as a powerful emotional connection for people with this love language.
Okay. So, what's your comments on that one, Don?
Man, this is probably one that I would say fits me second best, because I recall that when my younger days, long time ago, like Brother Max said,
way back when,
like physical touch was something that you in the dating world you look for. You want that intimacy. You want to hold hands. You take them out on a date. You want to get a kiss. You want to show signs of affection, and then you get some Netflix and chill. That's all good with it. But as you get older and you start maturing, the physical touch becomes more of an intimacy thing between you and your partner. You're just not out there trying to screw the world. So physical touch has to be looked at differently as you get older and mature.
Okay. So real quick, Shamika, our therapist, please tune in every other Tuesday for the Therapist and the Poets session or section of the Data from the Real. She says that's her love language is physical touch. Right on. Yes. Physical touch for me, like you were saying, is not necessarily sexual. Really, it's to me, and it's and she knows this is like she may rub my back. She may just moisturize my back, but because she that takes me to a place out of my childhood, and so she knows it soothes me, and that's why that physical touch there, or when she knows through certain areas of my body that like, hey, this calms him down, or this makes him happy, this soothes me.
Someone in the comments, Tara said, "Smack that booty at your woman." That's definitely a physical touch. You're going into the kitchen. Bye, y'all. Make that coffee.
Yeah. Pow! Good morning, baby.
Yeah.
Hey. Just hey, if you communicate, as long as you communicate them, that's what you want.
Yeah, the words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
The actual service, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And those are things that you have to communicate to your partner that, hey, this is my love language,
Yes.
and this is how it affects me, and this is where it puts me. How does this what it does for me?
Yes.
And with doing all of that, I think it enhances and it makes your I don't want to call it a job, but that makes your relationship that much better. Your role because
Yes.
I think it's going to cut down on some of the complacency
Hmm.
that we often develop in relationships. It'll cut down on some of the that feeling of neglect.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, what was Floyd? Hold on, Floyd says something.
Let's see here. He says physical touch is his second best, ties with quality time. When she gently touches my beard, or when she caresses my shoulders or my bald head, holding my hands or randomly kissing me just because. Absolutely beautiful.
Right.
Well said, Floyd. Well said.
Yeah. He always say things in a way that most men can't.
Yeah. You gotta
Yeah.
be in tune with yourself. That's just being knowing you and within your feelings, being
Yeah.
able to speak that.
Yeah. So, but all these things, and also I notice a lot of times, and I'm just gonna speak for myself. Sometimes your language evolves. It changes. How
Yeah.
much you need of one may another what you need for other may decrease.
Yes.
You know, and I know I'm so strong on active service, but I noticed a lot of it my active service need increased over the years because when I looked at my quiz, which I'm gonna talk to you about in about 30 seconds, I was like, some of this other stuff used to be high in my mind was higher, and I noticed it dropped down. So to put it real quickly, my quiz told me I was 40%. Man, I got a screenshot of it. Let me pull it up real quick, and it won't be. Where's it at? It was like I'm 40 something. Here we go, right here. Just once. I'm 40% active service, 20% receiving gifts, 13% words of affirmation, 13% physical touch, and 13% quality of time.
Okay.
Which I don't think that's far off because my introverted state will allow me to be a little bit lower on the quality of time sometimes.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it's still on there. And that means I still need that quality time.
Yes. You bring up some good points. Also, on these five love languages, there is a secondary discussion. I didn't send it to you, but I just wanted to take this time to speak on it.
Go
For
ahead.
each one, it gives you ways to communicate these love languages. I'm just going to read them off from top to bottom. Starting with words of affirmation, and it indicates you want to provide encouragement, affirm, appreciate, emphasize, and listen actively as part of words of affirmation. As we just talked before, you can send an unexpected note, a text, a card, and you just want to genuinely occur and often. So even if that is not your strong point, just by participating in that, you are reassuring that particular percentage that you may have been lacking in, and you can bring that percentage up a little bit higher if you were to take the test in the future, because you're now going to look at that question different and it'll be rated differently.
Hmm. Yeah. You're right.
The next one is quality time, and it indicates communicate is uninterrupted and focused conversation. One-on-one time is critical by creating special moments together. You can take walks and do small things with your partner. Weekends getaway are huge. So that's how you can reassure that love language, if that is something that may not be your strong point, is doing those things like that, taking a weekend trip, just going to a local hotel where you go out to dinner and just get out of the house. That quality time is huge. It's humongous. It make a big difference.
And I'm gonna stop on there for just a second. And I know today's economy, things are not as easy as one, two, three saying, let's go and spend the weekend or get the weekend.
Mhm.
And so we have to challenge ourselves, and this is my challenge. I told Kia, like, I got to challenge myself. I have to do that. So quality of time is like, okay, what can I do that don't have to be very expensive? It can be relatively expensive
Yeah.
to show a quality time.
Hmm.
And that's the challenge I have. And I got a couple of ideas. And that matter of fact, I got something. I just put something in the barrel for another session later. My bad. Gotta
All
make sure
right.
I remember that. Yeah, but
Give the tease.
yeah. It just bam. Ooh. Um, but yeah, so I do. You should challenge yourself and say, hey, I know what my household or my finances are, but what can I do? I agree
Yeah.
with that.
And that brings us to my next one, acts of service. How to communicate is by using action phrase like "I'll help." They want to know that you're there with them and your partner when in need. So you do chores together, make them breakfast in bed, go out of your way to help alleviate their daily workload. So if your lady is having a rough day, you wash the clothes or you wash her car or take it to get service. All those things are acts of service that you can do. It doesn't cost a lot, and it takes her mind off of that, and therefore you're playing your role as you indicated, stepping up to the plate.
You're right. Um, Real quick, Floyd says his is 33% words of affirmation, 23% physical touch, 23% quality time, 13% acts of service, and 3% gifts.
Three
You
percent
know,
gift. Come on,
yeah.
Floyd, you got to get them gifts up, man.
I don't, you why you know he made to get them gifts up, but you know something,
Yeah,
and this by us, Floyd. If anybody in the comment section with Floyd for Dar's been going on, he's been apart.
yeah.
That's pretty bad. That actually is, compared to me, that's so well balanced because you got to
Okay.
realize Floyd is he's an artist, a
Hmm.
musician, poet. So a lot of these things are balanced. That's how his mind works. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That was a good tease there, Floyd. No harm
Yeah.
done. All right, let's go to number four was gifts. So to communicate you thoughtfulness, make your spouse a priority and speak purposely. Give thoughtful gifts and gestures. Small things matter in big ways. Express gratitude when receiving a gift in return. Showing the appreciativeness, not the monetary value, just the appreciativeness of receiving the gift.
Yeah.
That's what Floyd spoke about earlier. Is when the gift is received, it shouldn't have a monetary value attached to it.
Right. And that actually brings up Tara said. So hold on, for I'm read Tara's comment. Read one more thing Floyd said. Love is creative thoughts put into action, formulated through words, plus a spiritual connection, cosmic.
Cosmic intertwining. That's the poet
Damn.
right there.
Damn.
Give that
What
man
to
some
bring?
claps on that. Way to put it, Floyd. Way to put it.
Yeah.
Snaps, snaps.
Yeah.
Cosmic intertwining. I like that.
We have to bring Floyd on with us one day, Don.
Oh
We could
yeah.
be we could be the poet, the author, and the country fella.
A country fella. Oh
Yeah. And Tara says that means it doesn't require lots of gifts. Wait a minute, hold on. That's that's not receiving. Oh, I lost track. Dang it. But yeah, she does. She pretty much said before that she does. It's not the monetary. It's just the thought of the gifts.
man. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And the final one is the physical touch and communicate is nonverbal, use body language and touch to express love. Actions that take a hugs, kisses, holding hands, show physical affection, often make intimacy a thoughtful priority.
Mm. So that's actually good. I like that. You know, I'm just gonna give you an example that we do on a regular. Now give us an example of us because that's my main example because that's what I live and love with every day.
Yes.
Every day before I leave the house, she may be lying down. I have to give her a kiss or a touch or something. Like, even though she may be most likely she's asleep, but when I do it, she wakes up and says, "Have a good day, babe. I'll talk to you later. I love you," and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
And when I walk in, If I don't give her a kiss on a peck or something, it might be a long night.
Ain't nobody get no sleep.
Yeah, you man, you better get that color purple shit on your ass.
Everything you do.
Yeah, I better
Yeah,
get my chapstick ready and kiss them lips. Not walking that damn door. Shit.
yeah. Physical touch is yeah.
Yeah,
That was one of my love languages. So just being able to provide it non-verbally speaks speaks an enormous amount of that how you feel about a person, how you care about a person, how you love a person.
yeah, exactly. You know, so real quick,
Your lady says she wants her kiss ASAP. You in trouble, bro.
yeah, I'm gonna whip my lips up now. Yeah, yeah. Start licking my lips like I'm LL Cool J.
Uh,
So, what's give me your top two? Give me your top two
my
love
top
language.
two, it would go back to the act of service and the physical touch. Um, yeah, that would be my top two, followed by quality time, gifts, and probably my lowest one would be the words of affirmation because I don't necessarily always say things as the higher on this particular five choices, but things are said because being the poet, I could speak to that love language. I can feed the soul. I can nourish those needs of words and encouragement. It's just not necessarily they're on a higher scale when compared to the other four.
Yeah, you know now my and then when I wanted to, I'm curious to know, do you have to when it comes to your lady, you have to keep these love languages in the forefront? I need to do this, or has it become instinctual?
It's all natural to me. It's a matter of when I want to apply it. Again, in the morning, I'm provided a physical touch with just a kiss on the forehead. I'm making the coffee with the acts of service. I'm definitely going to surprise her with a gift every now and then. And then, being together with her, that quality time is there without even having to mention it. And then as we go through our day, towards our weekend. Words of affirmation are going to be there because we're going to have conversations, we're going to have discussions, we're going to have talks. So again, it just may not be a high priority on the list, but all five are going to be touched at some point or another.
Okay, yeah. So real quick, um, because Shamika says physical touch and quality time, you know, in our top two. Okay, now I'm listening to you and how you do things. And guess what? I need to step up my game just a little bit more. I'm not touching all five like I need to be touching all five. I ain't gonna tell you well how I'm not doing it, but I need to increase it. Thank you, bro. I need to. Sometimes I need another subtle reminder.
Hey, I'm getting those every day. You ain't saying good morning to me. So we're gonna get the reminder we're ready to hear it or not. So it's definitely gonna be there. But yeah, I mean, just speaking on this topic of this conversation definitely puts it on the forefront of your mind and makes you want to be a better person. So therefore, you're like, okay, if there's something an area that I'm lacking in, this type of conversation helps me to be aware of that, and therefore, you become better as a person because now you're actively knowing where there may be a flaw, for lack of word, or something that may not be paid as much attention to, and you can now give it the attention that it needs.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And we all want to become a better person, but becoming a better person for your person is a great. I think is a great calling.
Exactly.
Yeah, and being a better person for your person is gonna make you a better person regardless,
Indeed.
because that person is gonna bring you up.
Hmm.
And so, you know, as we close, we're gonna try to bring this to an end because like I've been taught by the poet and the therapist, people time is valuable. But before we
Yes.
closing this out, I want to make sure everybody know we're back for 2024. Tuesday, every other Tuesday, the therapist and the poet. You know, every Wednesday, another live coming. Every other Wednesday, another live coming to you live and in action.
Mm-hmm.
Please, the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Data from the Real. Subscribe. Have one, tell one. Have them all hit the like button and subscribe button. The podcast, if you're like me, you're in traffic. We on a podcast too. We can hit audio. You can listen to all this goodness and from the rides home. Subscribe there and have everyone else subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what Floyd says while y'all leaving, shoot, Floyd, if you want to talk a little something about something, shoot it out there. We can spare a few more minutes. But we want to keep growing and growing and growing. You know, we continue the journey of this platform, staying positive, trying to improve ourselves, improve relationships, improve the single life, loving yourself, loving others. And as you see, you can even see me evolving. I want you to see the growth I'm having in our relationship. You know, how I'm taking it in just tonight, taking it from other brothers and the people and the ladies in the comments. You know, I enjoy this.
Yeah, this is fun, man.
Yeah, but before we get ready to close out, as we get to close out, anything else you want to say, Don? I'm here for it.
Yeah, when you gave me the topic the other day, and I was thinking about adding some some of my poetry to it. I actually wrote something today. It's a little bit unpolished, but I want to read it so that it intertwines to the 5 love languages. So hopefully the listeners will like it because I'm going to read it. So here we go. The title is Love Language. As strangers we meet, our eyes locked into a romantic dance. Back and forth, the topic flows, touching on subjects never before shared. The calmness in your voice relaxes the emptiness of my soul. Speaking languages like an art, our worlds should never part, colliding together like the universe at birth, awaiting for a rebirth of love. Words tied together in an intricate knot, bodies caressing so closely light cannot escape. If love is made up of a language, then let me feel deep inside your spirit to satisfy the conversation. Yeah.
Right, right on, dude. Right on, bro. Ah, this man, you about this close to be the permanent co-host. Stop it, man. Keep bringing fire like that.
Man, that's all day long. I can write that in my eyes closed.
All right, yeah.
A
I
vegan.
can I have an admiration for it because that's something that's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
So I really appreciate it. And hey, keep doing your thing.
appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
All right, good family. We about to close this out. And once again, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks,
Make sure you
everyone.
tune in next Tuesday. Then more to come.
Alrighty.
All right.
Later.
Seeing eyes of mine, you see.